missing someone. Love with all your heart.
Hi guys, welcome to French Fluent. How are you all doing? I'm sorry it's been a while since I posted any video on my channel, and I could already see the views and my subscriber count reducing, but I was busy. I was held up doing my school work, and my exams got over and a lot of things happened, so I wasn't able to post videos. So right now I'm free, so whenever I find free time I will post videos. And I'm also not seeing enough of response in my YouTube videos. Let's get into this topic. So very quickly I'll just tell you what is passé composé. It's nothing but past tense. So actually you have been learning throughout this whole time, you have been learning present tense. So there is future and there is past. This is, yeah. So throughout the French grammar that you have learned till now, you have learned only present. Okay, so now you will learn past. In ninth you will learn future tense. Alright, so actually why you're taught present tense in from your lower classes, because present tense is the most difficult tense out of all, because it has many irregular verbs and all that stuff. So that is why present tense has been taught to you for, I guess, 3 years now. So past tense is fairly easy, and future tense is also very easy. And again in ninth you will be seeing sub tenses in present tense and past tense. So what is composé? I'll come from here. So composé means compound. So compound is basically nothing. It means a mixture of two or more things. Alright, and you might be familiar with it from science. So compound means a mixture of two or more things. So in French, what does it mean? So here it means it's in passé composé. That means in past tense you will be using two words that will determine the tense. For example, now see, till now in present tense, alright, so je parle, okay, so I speak French. So je parle le français. This is present tense. Alright, so what happens here? Here you have only one word, which is the verb. Alright, but in passé composé, when you're writing this whole thing in past tense, that means I spoke French, or I used to, I mean, yeah, I spoke French. When you want to say this in past tense, you will have to use two words in order to say this in past tense. So that means it is a compound tense. That means you need two words to express this in the particular tense, that is past tense. So this is the meaning. And what are these two words now? Okay, now what are these two words I will be telling? The first word will always be the present conjugation of avoir or être. The present conjugation, the present tense. How will you conjugate être or avoir in present? That's how this will be the first word. The second word will always be the past participle. It's called the past participle. Okay, this also has a it also has a technical word, that is called the auxiliary verb. Okay, so when I say auxiliary verb, you should know that I am referring to the first word, the first part of the passé composé. Okay, and even in your school your teacher might suddenly ask you what are the auxiliary verbs in that you use in passé composé. You should say avoir or être. It can't be both. It can either be avoir or être, and I'll tell you where it is avoir and where it is être. All right, so only in certain verbs avoir is used, and only with certain other verbs être is used, and there's a trick to it and all sorts of things to learn about the first part. So of course you know, right, what is the present tense of avoir. I'll just write down the conjugation for you guys if you want. Je ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. This is for avoir. And for être it is je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. This is être conjugation, this is avoir conjugation. I haven't written the subject, I have just written it like that. So you might have come across this in your, this is the present tense of avoir and this is the present tense of être. So I have just conjugated these verbs in the present tense, alright. So you will have to use them according to the verb. So this is easy. I'll come with an example so that you can understand better, but before that I'll tell you what is the past participle right here. So past participle is the form of a verb. So now remember in present tense what we used to do? Parler, for example. So if you want to conjugate this in present tense, we used to remove the er, and if it was je, if the subject was je, we used to put e. If it was tu, we used to put es. If it was il, remember that we used to put e, and if it was l also it used to remain e. And for nous we used to put parlons. So this, it's changing, right? This part, it's changing whenever the subject changes. Similarly in past tense, as the subject changes, the word also will change. So here it is present participle because here we are doing present tense. Here it is past participle. So the endings will be different in past participle. You can't put e, es, e, ons, ez, ent, ent. We can't do that. That's not applicable. That's only applicable in er verbs of present tense. Here you're not going to do anything of that sort. Alright. So now let me come back to you. I'll just erase this board. Now I'll come to this. Okay, now we've learnt that the first word will always be the conjugation of either avoir or être in the present tense. So now this is easy to fill up, and I'll tell you which verbs will take avoir and which verbs will take être later. Now I'll come to this. How do you find the past participle? Now like in the present tense, there is no way, like, you just remove er and put es. There's no, you know what I'm saying. Like in present tense, we used to add those endings and then finish the game. But here it isn't like that. So what you have to do is different for each family. So what are the families of verbs in French? We have seen er family, we have seen ir family, and we have seen re family. Alright, and they have exceptions in their own ways, but let's not talk about that. So now those verbs, those irregular verbs in the er family is what? Basically it's the family of verbs which end in er. Alright, so those verbs which end in er, again I'm going to take parler only. I don't know why this verb keeps popping in my mind whenever I think of er verbs. So parler I'm taking. Parler means to talk, if you don't know. So parler is an er verb. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, for all er verbs, if you want to find the past participle of any er verb which is which is a regular verb, what you have to do is you have to remove the r. Right, the first rule or first step is to remove the r, and add accent on e. Which accent is this? Acute accent. Alright, not this accent we're going to put. Alright, so we're going to be putting acute accent on the e that is left behind. So this is the past participle of parler. Now I'll give you another verb, regarder. Alright, so now for regarder, it's er verb. So the word, how do you find the past participle of this verb? The first rule is remove the r. Okay, I'm erasing this r. Okay, and then what I'm doing, I'm adding an accent. That which accent? The acute accent. Okay, don't add just any accent. This is the acute accent. Okay, acute, I hope you guys know the difference between acute and acute and grave accent. So acute accent is basically like an acute angle. Alright, it's less than 90 degrees, so that's why it has this name acute. So it is like this, from right to left, and grave accent is from left to right. Alright, this is the thing. So here you're using only and only acute accent. Remember that, star, acute only. Alright, so remember that. So this is for, so this will now finish. This is the past participle of regarte. Now plante. Plante means to plant. So I'm removing. How do I find the past participle? First I remove the R and then I put an acute accent. So this is the past participle. So we've got the first word, which is avoir or être, alright, and the past participle will be this, alright, these words. So this is for ER, alright, this applies for ER. So for ER, first rule, again I'm telling, remove R and add an acute accent on the E that is left behind. Okay, now that was for ER. If you didn't understand, go back and see the video again. So for IR verbs, what you're going to do is, so you're going to see finir. Finir is an IR verb. So finir means to finish. So finir, so for IR verbs, what you're going to do, the rule is to remove the R again, but don't add anything. For IR verbs, you just have to remove R, alright. So I'm removing R and this will become my past participle of finir. It's very easy. Rougir, for example, again I'm taking another example. So here I'll remove R, finish. That's the past participle of this. Because it's ending in IR, I'm using the rule that I have to use for IR, that is removing R, that's all. Just remove the R, I will be staying as it is. No accent, no nothing, just leave it like that. Then RE. For those verbs which are ending in RE, you have to remove the RE, alright. So for example, vendre, it's all given in your textbook, vendre, RE, it's ending in RE, vendre means to sell. So I am going to remove the RE and put U, alright. So for ER, for verbs where ending in ER, what did I do? I removed the R and put an accent, acute accent. For IR verbs, what did I do? I removed the R and left it like that, alright. For RE verbs, what did I do to find the past participle? I removed RE and added U, alright. So this is the rule to find the past participle. So the first word will either be avoir or être and the second word will be the past participle. So you now know how to find the past participle of any word. Here the problem is you'll have a lot of exceptions. So there is a whole table of exceptions that is given in your page number 45. Please, I don't know, because each book has a different page number because of the different editions. So please check it out. I'll show you the page if you want. It looks like this. This whole table is full of exceptions. I'll come back to it very soon. But before that, let's just practice those verbs which follow this rule, alright? So there are verbs. So first, let me come back to this auxiliary verb, that is the first word of the past tense. Now what happens here? We have two verbs, that is avoir or être in the present tense. So which one to use where? So now 90% or no, not 90%, I would say about 16 verbs. So there are 16 verbs in French which use être as the auxiliary verb. Only 16. All the remaining verbs use avoir, alright. So now the verbs which I will be giving you will all be having avoir, and I will tell you how to remember these 16 verbs which use être as their auxiliary verb. So first, now let's just concentrate on avoir. So majority of the verbs are having only 16. There are so many, there are millions of verbs in French, and out of them only 16 are having être as their auxiliary. So we are going to learn about that later. We will see the majority. So 90% of the verbs are using this as the auxiliary. So we'll come back to this. So avoir. So first, the word is the first word in the French, in Passé Composé is going to be avoir, and the second one will be the past participle. Now let's see examples. Now I want to say this in French. So I will write je as it is. Now parle, how do I write this parle? This is in present tense, I want to write this in past tense. So what are the two words? We know that in Passé Composé you have to use two words. One can be avoir or être, and I told you parle is not the one of those 16 words that falls under this one, under the ones which take être as their thing. So I know that parle is going to use avoir. So let me conjugate avoir in the present tense. So here the subject is je. So present tense avoir, it is a. So je a, and this e goes off. You know why? So je, and parle's past participle, you have to find that. So parle is an er verb, alright. So how do you find the past participle? First you remove the you remove the r and then put the acute accent. So this is the past participle. So je parle becomes the past tense of this, and then you just write the remaining sentence. Avec ma mère. Je parle avec ma mère. So I speak with my mother. So I spoke with my mother. Now we have changed the tense. So the meaning changes. I spoke with my mother. So here it's very simple. Now again, let's just get to another sentence. Or no, I'll go to this. Nous regardons la télé. Okay, nous regardons la télé. So this is present tense. Now I want to change it. So this regardons is coming from the verb regarder, right? Regarder is an er verb. Er, it's ending in er. Alright. So first we'll write the subject. Then we have to write two words in order to change this into past tense. The first word, here again regardons is not one of those verbs which come under the 16 verbs. So I know that this is going to be avoir. So I'm going to conjugate it in avoir. So how will I conjugate? Nous ka avoir form is what? Avons. Alright. So nous avons regardé. This is wrong. What I have to do? Write the past participle. So I'm removing, this is er verb. I'm removing the r. Okay, and I'm putting the acute accent. So nous avons regardé. It became the past tense. So it's very easy, and again I'll do it for er and ir as well. So I've come up with some examples in your textbook itself. Okay, so for this you have to use the rules that I've taught you today. So let's just see. The first question is, this is the second one, this is the third one. So the first one is le prof dash l'élève, and here you have to use punir, and the question says complétez les phrases avec le passé composé. That means complete these phrases, these blanks with past tense. So we just learned how to do, and this is on page number 47. I don't know if the page numbers match, but this is the first exercise of Rappelons. Alright, so let's just see. Le prof dash l'élève punir. Punir means to punish. So as you can see that IR, that is ending in IR. Now we know that all verbs which end in IR don't follow the rule, but I don't think this verb IR is on the list. Yeah, so you go back to your list and see if the word punir is there. List in the sense I'm talking about this. So you would notice that punir is not there. That means it is regular. So here only those irregular naughty ones are here which don't follow any rules and have their own rules. Only those people are here. So those which are not here, they are obedient people. They go by all the rules. So we are going to apply the rules. So what is the rule that we learned for IR? Very simple. So wait, first before that, let's come to the, so here only one blank is given, but you have to understand in your mind that passé composé, it is composé. Two words will be used. You have to use two words. So even if you miss that auxiliary verb and if you just write the participle and come, you're going to get 0 marks, not even half marks, 0 marks, because without the auxiliary the participle cannot live. Alright, so you will score very bad marks if you don't write the auxiliary. So remember, two words are very important, and you have to make sure that you have written the auxiliary verb and the past participle. So what will be the auxiliary verb? Again, I am telling you for your information that punir doesn't come among those 16 verbs. So you have to conjugate it in avoir. So I am conjugating it in avoir. So le prof, it is the il form. So il will be having what? It will be having a as the thing. Alright. le professeur a. Now let's write the past participle. How do we write the past participle? Remove the r. So I'm removing the r. What will remain? This will remain. So I've written this. So this is the completed form. Now let's see the second sentence. Patrick dash des gâteaux, and the verb is manger. So again, there is no manger is not in the list of those irregular verbs, so that means it is regular. So only if you by heart this verb, this table, you will know which is regular and which is irregular. So here it is regular, so we will apply the normal rules that we applied. Alright, so what are the rules? It is ending in er. Alright, so first we have noticed the ending, it's ending in er. So what happens? We are going to remove the r and put acute accent on e. So first let's write the auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb for this is again avoir. So I'm putting avoir again. Oh, my marker is very bad, but yeah, Patrick a, and let me write the past participle of manger. So we know you have to remove the r. You have to remove the r. So what remains? Manger remains, and one more thing you have to do, add the acute accent. So this is the rule for this. And finally you have to dash les resultats, and they are telling us to add the verb attendre. That means you have to conjugate the verb attendre in Passé Composé. So what we are going to do, first we'll write the auxiliary. So again, attendre is not having être, so I am going to conjugate it in avoir. So what do I do here? Tu as. Here it's only a. You know the conjugation, right? How do you conjugate avoir in present tense? Same thing. So here I have conjugated avoir, and then let's come to the past participle. So how do you do? It is ending in re, attendre, re. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to remove the re and put u. So what if I remove the re? It will look like this. Okay, attend, and what I have to do after removing re? You have to put u. So I'll put a small u over here. Tu as attendu. That's it. This is the whole thing about thing. And actually there's a lot of thing, like you have to learn the negative and interrogative form of it as well. I will tell again about all this in the next video. So please do the exercises that are given, but do them only after learning this thing. Okay, so anywhere if you come across these verbs, you have to use different past participles. So all the rules that I've given now are for regular verbs. Here you can't apply any rules, because these fellows, they don't follow any rules. They have their own rules, they have their own words. So these you have to by heart, all just like you have by hearted their alright. So these are all irregular things. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you understood. If you didn't understand, I've left the comment sections open to ask your doubts. So please ask me your queries, and please don't go without subscribing, because that kind of motivates me, and I'm very busy studying and I'm still wanting to do this because of your comments. So if you want such videos, you have to comment and subscribe. Alright, thank you for watching, and yeah, practice, stay healthy, bye.